Hello and welcome back to another video on TGM Guitars. We'll start the video off how I always start them off and say thank you to everyone who subscribed, commented, left a like rating on recent videos. Kind of heading towards that 300 subscriber goal. I think we're about 362 when I'm recording this, so it'd be quite cool to get there, and we'll keep on growing with you guys. So you might notice this video started off a little bit differently. I'm going to try and get back into the writing little original pieces. I don't spend enough time kind of doing it nowadays, and also for this style of video, which is going to be a little bit different from what I usually, what I've been doing for the past few videos anyway. I think it kind of highlights something and adds a little something because you can get it in context. And the topic of this video is just talking about chorus, reasons why I like it, reason why people don't like it, and thought it'd be good to start off with something with an example of it in there. So yeah, if you do like the way this video goes, then do leave that down in the comments and let me know. So I'm assuming because you're watching this video, because you're watching this channel, because you're a guitarist, you know what chorus is, but I'm just going to quickly go over the whole concept of chorus. Now, it's a modulation type effect, and basically what it is doing is modulating or shifting the phase of the signal. And what it does is, usually it's two opposing signals, whether that is the original dry signal and an out of phase one, and it mixes them. And what that does is creates that shimmery kind of almost doubling effect, and it can be used to create some quite nice kind of ambient tones, as well as thicken up a lead tone. I mean, there are examples of guitarists doing that. And what I'm going to do throughout this video is kind of maybe talk a little bit about a way that it can be used and give an example, whether that is trying to play an excerpt from a song or something similar, and just kind of give you an idea of all the things you can do with chorus, because it is not just to get those cheesy 80s rock vibes, even though a lot of the things I'm going to talk about is probably from the 80s. So I mean, the classic way of using it is to take your perfectly clean tone and transform it into something that's a little bit thicker, a little bit shimmery, people might say. And yeah, a quick example of that now. So you're probably familiar with that kind of sound and how it's been used on so many ballads in the 80s as well as into the 90s. I mean, grunge rock, big user of those classic chorus tones. So it didn't even just stop with those cheesy 80s ballads, it kind of lived on a little bit. And nowadays you're starting to hear artists use it again, whether that's through the likes of John Mayer, who has just brought out a sort of 80s themed album, so it's kind of fitting that he's used chorus for it, or whether it's just you listen to some indie stuff or even some solo artist stuff. If it's just them and a guitar, they use the chorus just to kind of take the sound, thicken it, and almost turn it into multiple instruments at once. Because what I personally think is that you can set a chorus to almost get a slightly jangly 12-string sound, or you can go the other way and turn it into a little bit of a sort of organy sound. I mean, one way that could be used is using what they call dimension. It's not exactly the same as a chorus, but when Boss came out with that, you might be familiar with the sound of it from Prince's Purple Rain is what the dimension effect was used on. It's very similar, and personally one of my favourite kind of types of this effect. So if you notice, that almost turned your guitar into almost an electronic-y kind of sound, and personally, I really like that. I used it on, well, that excerpt that I was playing was a song that I wrote with my old band, and it kind of, it defines that riff, defined that sound. And yeah, I mean, I personally like that. And the other way I said you could use it is to almost mimic a 12 string. And I know Slash did that on Paradise City. So probably enter me here playing some chords, trying not to get copyright strike, and just give you an example of what that sounds like. So far, I've only really talked about taking your clean sound and kind of modifying it with a chorus, but it sounds equally as good, in my opinion, on an actual distorted sound. So, I mean, classic kind of 80s sound here. So as you can see there, it almost took the tone. You can hear all the guitar swirling around. It kind of pushes it over the top, and some people might think that's too much or completely hate it, but personally I love that kind of tone. I don't get to use it enough in my band playing like classic rock stuff. I do use the chorus for some of the grungier stuff, but I don't get to use it completely over the top 80s style, which, I mean, I love that sound. I mean, the 80s and 90s Clapton, a lot of people say that's some of his most disgusting sounds, and oh, why would people idolise that? Him for a Soldano with with a chorus pedal in front. I mean, I personally love it. So another way you can use it with distorted sound is to almost thicken and add that doubler sort of effect. So as I said before, it's two signals with a chorus. So if you slow down the rate a little bit or kind of turn the effect down, it almost adds that doubling sound. I know a lot of guitarists used this back in the 80s. I mean, Brian May, for one, he was using it through the 70s, and well, I'll just show you what that sounds like with and without the chorus engaged. Now it's a slightly more subtle effect. You can't hear it as much as that previous one, but it does take that single guitar sound and kind of bring it all together and boost it up, and well, it sounds like you have got two guitarists sometimes, and it's only being used a tiny amount. It's not a radical effect, and even Randy Rhoads used to use this when playing live for the short amount of time that he was with Ozzy. The MXR chorus was kind of a staple on his pedal board, and it was a case of click that on and you've got his lead sound, and it just kind of thickened everything and brought it all together. And to me, that's quite a good way of using it. I mean, if you're not completely into the chorus thing and don't want people to realise you're using chorus, then this might be a way that you can kind of get it in there and absolutely love the sound of it. So I'm not sure what you guys think about chorus, whether you love it, whether you hate it. Most people will go, no, it's 80s kind of, it's an 80s thing, it's very dated, they hate the sound of it. But I mean, personally, I mean, as I said, I don't get to use it as much as I would, and it's my go-to modulation effect. I use it for making my guitar sound almost 12 stringy, just to add a bit of ambience to it, as well as I use it when I'm playing live and I need an acoustic style sound. For example, my band plays Teenage Dirtbag. I use a chorus on that to kind of give it that sort of airy vibe, and it makes it something different. It takes the guitar and it just transforms it, and personally, it's an effect that I don't know why people don't use it more. And They are starting to. I mean, you're seeing people get back to these 80s vibes, and you'll probably see Chorus making a big comeback. So yeah, so I enjoyed this video. I hope it's been nice to see a kind of different format from me. It's not the average kind of video I do. I know I usually just plug in, play, talk a little bit about it before and after. But we'll see how this goes. If you enjoyed it, let me know. I can do more videos like this. This obviously won't work for almost the review style videos, but for me to talk about certain effects or certain styles, then this is probably the format that I'd be aiming for. So let me know if you enjoyed it. All the sounds today were from my Boss MD500. Bit of an over-the-top pedal to be using for this kind of stuff, but it does everything I personally need it to. Absolutely love it. Was going to do a sort of pedal review on it at some point, but it's so in depth, I don't think I can do it justice. So I think I'll leave that to the professionals. You might see it pop up in another few videos if I cover some of the other effects on it. But for now, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you thought of it. Leave a like, rating, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I will see you guys in the next one. Cheers.